Deputy.
Thank you, Cathaoirleach, and thank you, Minister Rabbitte. And Minister, I've been given the time to raise this important issue here, and the people of Tullow and Carlow are depending on me to get answers to this. In April 2016, in a parliamentary question to the Taoiseach, as the then Minister for Health, a proposed primary care centre for Tullow and County Carlow was queried. In the reply on the record, the Taoiseach said, "The HSE proposes to deliver the primary care centre for the Tullow, Rathvilly and Hackettstown area using the direct owned build mechanism." In 2016, they were going to deliver it. In a reply at the time, the HSE said their capital plan would fund the centre. Following several questions I have submitted on this issue since then, I was contacted by the HSE to tell me that Tullow has actually only this year been identified as one of the areas for the development of a new primary care centre, which will also serve the local communities in Hackettstown and Rathvilly. The new centre will provide a single point of access to a broad range of much-needed services for the people of Tullow, but only now has the HSE identified a number of interested developers and a list of accommodation finalised. And Minister, the reason I'm back again about this is I am really concerned. When I was actually doing this today, when I was going through my notes and trying to find out the different information, this came in 2016 to the Taoiseach. And we're near the end of 2021. Actually, in April 2022, this will be 6 years. And I'm no further on. 6 years on, I am no further on than I was back in April 2016. And I think even more so, that really affects me is I have been in contact with the HSE. I can't even find out the location of where this facility is going to be built in Tullow. All I'm told is they have identified a site in Tullow. I can't know where, I can't find out the site location, I can't find out how big it is, and I certainly can't find out the timescale. So I just think, look, and you know yourself, Minister, a primary care unit for any town, but Carlow and Tullow and Bagnallstown, we're a rural county, and a primary care unit for them is so important. And we would have all seen through COVID and the waiting lists and, people trying to get appointments and the delays and whatever. But I am here nearly 6 years on, and I am not able to tell the people of Tullow, Hackettstown and Rathvilly where exactly that build is going to be in Tullow and the timescale. So, Minister, I do want to thank you for coming in, and I hope you have good answers for me tonight, because at this stage now I feel 6 years on is unacceptable. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cathaoirleach. And I would like to thank the Deputy Murnane-O'Connor for raising this issue and to take this opportunity to acknowledge the Deputy's work in advocating for the people of Carlow Kilkenny. And I am taking this topic on behalf of Minister Donnelly. I can confirm that a preferred site has been identified close to Tullow Town Centre for the construction of a new primary care centre. The new facility will not only provide community service to the people of Tullow, but will also serve the local population in surrounding areas of Rathvilly and Hackettstown. Subject to the established procurement protocols and planning approvals, it is expected that the works should commence on the site early in Q1 2022. So the first question I would have to say to the Deputy, have you seen the planning application going in to your local county council? Because if you have seen it going in, therein it will have it, the identified site, and we all know how many weeks it takes for planning to take place. Yes. If you haven't seen it, I think it is some matter I will have to take up with the HSE to see where we are at submitting the planning. The centre will complement and build on the work already being done by the HSE South East Community Healthcare Services in terms of delivery primary care, mental health, social care and health and wellbeing services in Carlow. It will provide a broad range of services including GPs, public health nurse, occupational therapists, psychotherapists, dentists, podiatrists, speech and language therapists and psychologists. To ensure that access to all of these services is straightforward as possible, the centre will contain a number of multidisciplinary bookable rooms for visiting healthcare professionals, while the required car parking facilities will also be provided. In addition, the centre will serve as a base for one of the 30 multidisciplinary specialist teams for chronic disease being developed under the Enhanced Community Care These teams will target 4 ambulatory care-sensitive conditions, namely diabetes, asthma, COPD and congestive heart failure, and will also allow patients to access care in the community close to where they live rather than having to travel to hospital. I am sure the Deputy will agree that this is an especially welcome development and a concrete example of how this government's significant investment in health services is benefiting local people and the individual patients. I know only too well in my role as Minister for State the challenges that we face in building up services in the community and tackling waiting lists, and I certainly do not pretend that things are perfect, but what I can say is that the development of this centre will improve services in Tullow and surrounding areas. Access to a greater range of services and social care services within the community, better integration between hospital and primary care services, a holistic approach to community needs with enhanced capacity for primary care in the areas of disease prevention, rehabilitation and personal social services, shared care arrangements for the management of chronic conditions. It is a welcome development and another step on the road to implementing sláinte care and transferring how we deliver health services in our community. And I hope, Deputy, that answers your question. I know it doesn't give you a specific site location, but what I would say is that they're expecting this to come on stream on quarter 1 2022. So I would assume that there's planning in the offing.
Yeah, and thank you, Minister. Well, Minister, I'm regularly checking Carlow County Council's planning, but I will say we have a good news story coming from Carlow, and I will be going to the Minister Donnelly on it. I see we have a planning permission for a hospital for 140 beds, and again, I will be speaking to Minister Donnelly on that, which I will definitely be working on. No, I haven't seen this one, and I tell you, Minister, while I do really welcome this, and I can assure you I monitor planning at all times, I do have concerns that the HSE haven't come back to me with more information, because I am constantly addressing it here and I'm constantly in contact with the HSE. But I do welcome this, and it is important now that this planning application is gone through as soon as possible, and anything I can do to help, Minister, I will, because Tullow has waited nearly 6 years for this. And look, while I welcome you're saying quarter 2022, that's really welcome. You're looking at another 2 years before this will be built, or a year and 8 weeks, then you have the process, and then you might, people might put in submissions or whatever. So we don't actually have, a time scale on that, but it is welcome, and I will be one to make sure that I will promote this as best I can, and I'm sure the people of Tullow, Hackstown and Rathvilly will do the very same, because I believe this is a service that has been needed years ago. And again, Minister, I know you're stepping in for Minister Stephen Donnelly, and I want to thank you for that. But what I will say is, and I have huge concerns, Minister, and I will say this, that trying to get information on certain projects sometimes from the HSE can nearly be impossible. And I just feel that when I have people coming to me from these areas saying to me, look, I'm looking to know when is this happening, a primary care centre for Tullow, Hackstown, Rathvilly is so important. All I'll say is, Minister, it is really welcome tonight, and I will stay in contact with you, and thank you for the good answer.
Minister to conclude. Right, thank you, Laskar, and I can assure the Deputy that Minister Donnelly and I are absolutely committed to delivering the investment and reforms required to improve our health service. This very much includes the continuing development of primary care centres right across the country. Indeed, significant progress has been made. There are now 146 operational centres throughout the country, up from 70 at the end of 2012. Looking to next year, we are targeting the opening of another 24 centres, so we have real momentum in the building programme. These facilities are key to enhancing and expanding capacity in the primary care sector and to delivering high-quality integrated care to people in their own communities. I am happy to be able to confirm that the people of Tullow will be able to avail of a primary care centre in the not-too-distant future. And I have no doubt that the Deputy, and I dare say the local community, are awaiting for building works to begin. And I understand some impatience and the desire for things to move quicker. However, there should be no doubt that there is a commitment to building a primary care centre in Tullow, and that ultimately the local community will be able to access health and social care services from a well-equipped, high-quality, purpose-built facility.